Lesson 2: Project Phases and Scheduling. Project Phases and Scheduling. In project management, the project lifecycle consists of distinct phases: initiation, planning, execution, monitoring and controlling, and closing. Each phase plays a crucial role in the project's overall success, and scheduling is integral at every stage. Here is an expanded view of the project lifecycle and how scheduling is involved in each phase. Initiation phase. The initiation phase is the starting point of the project where the project's goals, objectives, and feasibility are determined. The project manager and key stakeholders define the scope and deliverables, and the decision to proceed with the project is made. Role of scheduling. At this stage, high-level scheduling takes place. While a detailed schedule isn't developed yet, the project manager estimates the general timeline, identifies major milestones, and outlines a rough time frame for project completion. This phase answers questions like: how long will the project take? What are the key milestones or deadlines? For example, project start date and other major deliverables. Are there external constraints or deadlines? For example, regulatory deadlines or market launches. Initiation phase continues. Key scheduling activities in initiation. Develop a preliminary schedule based on project scope and stakeholder requirements. Estimate rough durations for each major phase of the project. Identify key milestones that need to be achieved to signal progress or allow stakeholders to make decisions. Planning phase. The planning phase is where the detailed roadmap for the project is developed. This is the most critical phase for scheduling. The project scope, resources, budget, risks, and time are clearly defined. The detailed schedule is created, laying out how the project will be executed, monitored, and controlled. Role of scheduling in the planning phase. In the planning phase, the detailed project schedule is created. This schedule breaks down the project into tasks and activities, assigns durations, identifies task dependencies, and allocates resources. Scheduling at this stage allows the project manager to establish the critical path, set deadlines for tasks, and develop a timeline for resource allocation. Key scheduling activities in planning. Develop a detailed work breakdown structure, WBS, to define all the activities required for project completion. Create a detailed project schedule that includes tasks and activities, breakdown of work into manageable tasks. Dependencies, identifying logical relationships between tasks, that is, finish to start, start to finish, etc. Durations, estimating the time required for each task. And critical path analysis, identifying the sequence of tasks that directly affects the project completion date. Continuation of key scheduling activities in planning. Allocate resources. So at this stage, labor, equipment, and materials are allocated, and this leads to the creation of a resource management plan. Establish milestones and define key deadlines. At this stage, the development of contingency plans by building in time buffers for high-risk tasks. Set a baseline schedule as a reference point for tracking progress during the project. Execution phase. During the execution phase, the project team carries out the work defined in the project plan. Most of the project's resources are expended during this phase as activities are implemented according to the schedule. Role of scheduling. The schedule guides the team on what activities need to be completed and when. In this phase, the schedule is actively used to track progress, allocate resources, and ensure that deadlines are being met. Adjustments may be necessary if deviations from the plan occur. Key scheduling activities in execution. Track progress. Ensure tasks are completed according to the schedule and monitor whether the project is on track. Update the schedule. Modify the schedule if there are delays or changes in scope. For example, resource issues or unexpected risks. Coordinate resources. Ensure that workers, equipment, and materials are available as scheduled to prevent bottlenecks. Monitor milestones. Keep an eye on upcoming milestones and check if any adjustments are needed. Manage change requests. If project changes occur, assess the impact on the schedule and make necessary adjustments. Communication. Keep the team and stakeholders informed of any schedule changes or delays. Monitoring and controlling phase. The monitoring and controlling phase run concurrently with the execution phase. It involves tracking the project's performance to ensure it stays on schedule and within scope and budget. If deviations occur, corrective actions are taken to realign the project with its objectives. Role of scheduling in the monitoring and controlling phase. In this phase, the project schedule is continuously monitored and updated to reflect real-time progress. This allows the project manager to compare actual progress with the baseline schedule, identify variances, and adjust as needed. And value management and other tools are often used to analyze performance. Key scheduling activities in monitoring and controlling. Track schedule performance. Compare actual task completion times against the planned schedule. Use tools like end value management (EVM) to assess the schedule variance and performance indices. Identify and address schedule variances and delays by implementing corrective actions. Update the schedule regularly to reflect progress, changes or risks, and adjust the project timeline if necessary. Reallocate resources if needed to prevent or mitigate delays. Communicate progress with stakeholders, including updates on delays or changes to the schedule. Conduct forecasting to predict future schedule performance and adjust to ensure the project stays on track. Closing phase. The closing phase marks the completion of the project. In this phase, all project deliverables are finalized. handed over to the client, and project documentation is completed. This phase also includes reviewing project performance and ensuring that all contractual obligations have been met. Role of scheduling. Scheduling in this phase focuses on wrapping up remaining tasks, ensuring that all milestones have been met, and addressing any remaining contractual or administrative duties. The project schedule is closed out, and a final review of the project timeline and any deviations from the original schedule is conducted. Key scheduling activities in closing. Finalize remaining activities. Ensure that all remaining tasks are completed and that the project's deliverables are handed over as scheduled. Conduct a schedule review to assess how the project timeline was managed and identify lessons learned. Close out contracts and administrative work based on schedule completion. Archive the project schedule for future reference and use in project post-mortem reviews. Conclusion. Scheduling plays a critical role at every phase of the project life cycle, from setting the initial timeline in the initiation phase to monitoring progress during execution and ensuring proper closure in the closing phase. A well-managed schedule not only ensures that the project is delivered on time, but also enables effective resource management, risk mitigation, and communication among stakeholders throughout the process.